Explore the world of Beckart.
Beckart University presents People Performance Management Objective Setting. The purpose of this short e-learning module is to provide a visual overview of the online People Performance Management System, also known as the short acronym PPM. It can be accessed through SuccessFactors. We hope that you have had the opportunity to discuss PPM with your line manager and have utilized our online documentation in complement to this e-learning module. Let's begin. To begin working on your performance management objectives, start by selecting from the drop-down list within SuccessFactors. After selecting the drop-down list, select My Performance. After selecting My Performance, you will now be redirected to the inbox. Within the inbox, you will find the Performance Management form. Please keep in mind, if you are a manager and a manager with direct reports, you will have multiple forms, one form for yourself and the other for your direct reports. Please make sure you choose the appropriate form. The first for yourself if you are filling it out, and the other for your direct reports if you are reviewing their objectives. Now, let's click on the blue hyperlink to get a better understanding of how you do your own employee objective setting, which is the first step in performance management. After clicking on the blue hyperlink, you are now redirected to your own personal form. We will now begin talking about the route map in employee objective setting for PPM. With People Performance Management, we have the ability to enter team objectives, personal objectives, and behaviors and professional competencies through SuccessFactors. You can follow this process through the route map and the employee objectives setting. There are additional stages or steps to the route map. We will go through those in forthcoming modules. Let's look at our employee on screen, Brad Russell, and his setup. You will note that Brad actually has a shared supervisor and a direct supervisor. Many of us may have a similar setup within the employee objective setting and the PPM system. If this is the case, your employee objectives will be sent to your shared supervisor first for approval, and then on to your direct supervisor. If you have a standard setup, your form will be sent to your direct supervisor, and after approved, you will then move on to your frequent performance dialogues. Now, let's move on to our team objectives. We will begin with team objectives. Keep in mind, you can scroll down to the team objectives, or you can click the link and be taken directly to your team objectives. These are typically provided from your direct management in preparation for your yearly performance management goal objectives for the upcoming year. Ensure you align with your direct manager and your shared manager if applicable prior to entering your team objectives. Here on screen, I will paste some information into the system. From a global point of view, we believe business goals are assigned to departments and/or teams. The focus should be on how each member of a team contributes and how all members of the team together realize the goals that are set out for them. So, in your own words or your own team words, how do the team objectives align within your team? Please note, although there is a save icon, autosave is an automatic feature throughout the PPM system. Now that you have saved your team objectives, let's move on to personal objectives. As noted on screen, we at Beckart believe personal objectives should be written in a SMART way. We have been practicing the SMART model for quite a long time here at Beckart. And as presented on screen, here is our SMART model. SMART is simple. Do we have a clear definition? It's measurable. Do we have or can we collect enough data required? It's achievable. Do we understand the drivers that are behind it? It's results oriented. Is it relevant to the business as a whole? And it's timely. Can it be measured at a frequency that will allow us to solve the problems within the reporting cycle? Now that we have a pretty good understanding of SMART, let's go ahead and add an objective. Click the Add Objective button. After clicking on the Add Objective button, you will note a new window opens. Here you are presented with a few fields: name, description, weight, start, due, status, and progression update. Those with an asterisk are required. You are able to provide updates through the year on your progression with the Progress Update link. You can then go back and enter additional objectives after you've entered in your first objective. Here on screen, let's enter in our first personal objective example. As for the objective name, you'll want to enter in a objective name that easily defines or describes the objective. Here, we've entered in waste reduction. As for the objective description, keep in mind it should closely resemble the SMART model. Here on screen, we've entered in reduce waste by 5% in the low carbon production department. And as far as the how, by implementing 5S. The objective weight, well, you'll want to see how many other objectives you have and then decide on the weight. We'll enter in a start date and a due date. For this due date, we will put May 3rd, 2019, and the objective status currently has not started. You're easily able to enter in progress updates anytime throughout the year. Once complete, go ahead and hit Save Changes. Once everything is complete, wait for it to be added to your personal profile. Here on screen, the objective has been added to Brad's profile. The objective is there, the name, and also the description. And if we had progress updates, they would be listed right under this tab. After completing your personal objectives, if you have any specific overall comments about the objectives for the upcoming year, the comment box below the personal objectives can be used. At Beckart, everyone is a leader, and to that end, we must all continue to develop our leadership behaviors and professional competencies. So at this point, let's move on to behaviors and professional competencies. We will go ahead and click Add Objective. As you will note, a new window will open, and here you have the ability to choose between adding a new objective from scratch or choosing from our library of our 8 key leadership behaviors. Let's begin an example by selecting Professional Competency from scratch. Click Objective. You'll want to make sure the category is selected to Professional Competencies. For the objective name, I will enter in BMA course. For my description, I will enter in I will attend the BMA 5S course. We will then save changes. After that is saved, it will of course update to our employee's profile. Next, let's select another behavior and professional competency based on our 8 key leadership behaviors. Select Add Objective. Once the window opens, select Library Key Leadership Behaviors. Select the drop-down. For this example, we will select 2 leadership behaviors: I seek to excel and I simplify. Select Add Selected. You will note the objective name is the leadership behavior. The objective description is the full description of the leadership behavior. You are able to add to that description for the purposes of your professional objective. The second leadership behavior that we chose, I simplify, is also followed by the objective description. As always, you can add to that progress update throughout the year. Once complete, hit Save Changes. You will note the behavior and professional competencies that we have just selected have been added to the profile. Similar to the comments that could be added after personal objectives, if you have overall comments after including your behaviors and professional competencies, these can be included in the box below the Behaviors and Professional Competencies field. Once all information has been entered, it's important to do a review and ensure all information has been entered that you've discussed with your supervisor and/or manager. Make sure you review the route map and your team objectives, your personal objectives, and your behavior and professional competencies before sending on for approval. In the example of our employee here on screen, Brad Russell, it's important to remember that he has both a shared supervisor and a direct supervisor. This will impact how his objective settings are approved. Once Brad submits his performance management form, it will be sent to his shared supervisor, and if approved there, then it will be sent on to his direct supervisor. Keep in mind that a document in the PPM system during the employee objective setting cannot be sent back to the employee. That shared supervisor and/or the direct supervisor will have to have a conversation with the employee, and then from there make changes or corrections and then send it on for final approval. We will hit Send to Next Step. You have the option to write a note to the supervisor. Here we will write, all details have been entered. Please review. And then hit Send to Next Step yet again. At this point, the document has now been sent on to Brad's shared supervisor. He can check the status by clicking En route. He sees that it now sits with his shared supervisor. And that's it. You are now complete with the employee objective settings. Your next module for all employees will be the frequent performance dialogues. Employees enter frequent performance dialogues after their objectives have been approved. For managers that have direct reports, please look for the next module focused on objective approvals. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of the Beckert University.